Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now in this video I'll be talking about how to create a smart contract within 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and just outline what we're going to do in this lesson. So first of all, what are smart contracts? So smart contracts is the language of blockchain technology, right? And what that means basically, smart contract is basically a program that runs on the blockchain. And if you guys don't know what the blockchain is, I do encourage you to check out some videos online or on YouTube about what is blockchain. It's going to give you, there's tons of videos about it and explains it in a much better way. Even short videos. But essentially blockchain is the main technology that powers cryptocurrencies, and NFTs or non-fungible tokens, right? So for you to be able to trade on cryptocurrency, to buy and sell Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Solana, whatever, you are using the blockchain network, which is the back-end technology that makes cryptocurrencies possible, right? The same thing for NFT trading. If you buy and sell NFTs, you are using and interacting with the blockchain ledger, okay? So a smart contract is a program that runs on the blockchain network. It's basically how blockchain functions and how can you create contracts or programs that allow you to interact with the blockchain network. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. So the tools that will be used will be Remix, which is an in-browser development environment, and then Solidity, which is the programming language of smart contracts. It is based on JavaScript and Python. Okay, so Solidity is basically the main programming language that allows you to create and run smart contracts. It also allows you to deploy and check for syntax errors and test your smart contracts, and then allow you to deploy it on the blockchain. All right. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to load up Remix in the browser, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. So first things first, simply go in your browser. I do recommend using Chrome. Go to remix.ethereum.org, and then you'll be able to get the initial page of the Ethereum or the Remix programming environment, or the IDE, right, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. So just click accept, and then click on Learn Discovering Web3 Development, and this will give you just a few steps on what the interface is. So here, click to launch the home tab that contains links, tips, and shortcuts. That's the first one. Then you have the compiler. The compiler allows you to compile your code and check for syntax errors or any kind of logical or variable undefined errors in your Solidity files. And then you have the deployer. The deployer allows you to deploy your contract on the blockchain network. Okay, and then you get this. So I'm going to explain. Just go to a new workspace. You can go to here, create. Click on workspaces, and then click create a workspace. Sorry. And then click, you can just choose, just do the basic template. In the workspace name, type basic. Just type basic workspace. Okay, that's your workspace. And then from here, you're going to see a bunch of files created. You're going to have a directory called contract, you have a directory or a folder called scripts, and another folder called tests. Each one's going to have different files in it. You can go ahead and delete all these files right here. Under the contract folder, just delete the storage file. Click on the trash bin right here. It's going to delete it for you. Okay. Click on the second one, delete that. And then the third one, and delete that. Okay. And after that here, just go click on the contract folder and click on a new file. And then call this basics 101.sol for Solidity. Okay, so then it's going to create this new file. This is where you're going to be creating your smart contracts here. So the first line of code that we will be doing is the following. The first things you have to type in this spdx. Just increase the, you guys can see, spdx dash license, and then dash identifier, and then colon MIT. Okay, that defines your license structure. Okay, and then type in pragma solidity greater or equal to 0.7.0 less than less than 0.9.0 9.0, right? And once you get this, just make sure this is written exactly as is, because if you're not, you might get some errors. The greater or equal to sign, if you can see right here in the red, it must be very close to the zeros, and the less sign must be very close to the zero number as well. That's the Solidity version control, the version of the Solidity compiler which you want to be able to use, and you want your smart contract to be able to be compiled on. Okay, and let's go ahead and write the code. So here, contract basics 101 test. Okay, and here this will be the structure of your smart contract, or your contract, the code. So here what I like to do is I like to put an outline of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create general variables. It's a good idea. I mean, I do it this way. I just create an outline of my code before I start writing every single line of code, just so that it gives me a structure, a clear structure, and to give me the sections which I'm going to have in my code. Global variables, and then declaring arrays, and then you got date and timestamp. Date, time, stamp, time functions actually. Alright, so let's go ahead and start declaring our first variables. I'm going to write the code, and then I'm going to explain what the lines means. My balance is equal to 15, and then I'm going to write integer, which is private text amount, transaction amount is equal to -2, and then I'm going to write string internal and actually let me call it something like fuzz coin. Here I do encourage you to write your own name for the coin that you want to be able to create. So that's the coin name, or the token name that you want to be able to create. And you can just call it any name you like, your superhero, favorite superheroes, or your own name, just to make it more personal for you. Okay, that takes care of the first section. Now let's get into global variables. Int public block time. Block time equals to block.timestamp. Address public sender equal to message dot sender. Okay. And then you've got declaring arrays, string public token names is equal to chain link Ethereum Dodge, and then you got light. And then the semicolon. Okay, and then I'll create another array. Actually, this 5 levels, and then you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To make it easier to read, and then I'll go ahead and close it. Okay, now for the date and time functions. Actually, before that, let's go ahead and compile and see what happens. Now it's compiled. So once you get, when you hit compile right here, you can hit Control S. Control S will compile the code. Once you get the green check mark right here, it means your compilation, your compilation actually worked successfully, right? You can start going to the deploy, and you can start deploying your smart contract. Now keep in mind here what you have. Once you click and deploy, you're going to see all these different attributes here. So you have your environment, your Remix VM, which basically this is a virtual blockchain network on a VM in the cloud. In Remix, in this case it's in the Cancun region. This is your account addresses. So you have a bunch of accounts here with fake ethers, 100 ether on each different account addresses, which allows you to test and deploy your contract and to be able to see and make sure how it functions. Is it functioning correctly or not? Okay, and this allows you to interact with different account addresses on the blockchain network, which is a virtual blockchain. And you can identify each address by the last 4 digits here, or 5 digits here on each account address. Okay, once you start creating and deploying, you have the contract which you want to be able to deploy. Okay, and then you can hit deploy here and see what happens. So it deployed. Now what happens internally, this smart contract is now deployed directly on the blockchain, the virtual blockchain system. You can go down here and you can look at what you created here. My balance is equal to 15. Notice here, my balance is 15, and this allows you to understand and know that you created a contract and my balance is 15. Now you can interact with it. This is a very simple way of understanding smart contracts and very quick way to understand what happens within the smart contract. In the next video, I'll talk about how to create, I'll explain the lines of code here, what it means, and then we'll go even further to start interacting with the smart contract and deploying it on the virtual blockchain system and seeing how it works here as well. Okay? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.